It's too hot. Oh, it's too hot. Dying. It's too hot. When will it end? We're in August now. Going on forever. Today we're working on this comic and looking at it right now. I don't like the top pose. His body's too long and the pose is stiff and awkward. I don't like it. And because of the angle of it, it's sort of it doesn't communicate the feeling of a moment stopped in time as well. It's not ominous in that sense. But I'm going to leave it for now, and we're just going to do the lines for this. Let's have a look at my layers. That's that. That's that. Oh, that's a ref layer. That's that. Okay, we can merge that down. We can make a layer there. Okay. We're going to get distracted at some point in this by food being delivered. Hopefully that'll be alright. Let's just sort of get into it. I'm going to turn on some music. Okay. What's the easiest one? I suppose this guy. See if I remember how to draw. I'm thinking about this one. Would it be possible? Would it be more dynamic if I were to do this? If I were to do something like that. I'm not sure. I'd have to be going this way, wouldn't it? It doesn't fix the problem. How did I want to do this? Like that? I don't know, it's overlapping. No. Good enough. Stitch. Spider touch. Finger. Is whatever sin don't go in. It's got some death, Mr. Goldfinger. Yeah. It's the kiss of death. It's good for. That's okay. To go on. You can get what you want. So, if you can tell. The same again. Mm. 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 Venus, Venus. Gentle. Maybe they've seen us. And the sun, yeah. And be found, to be found. Final countdown. That's lines. Sword. Probably visible. I suppose I better include the zip line. Oh, how many on this? Alright. Perspective here. One moment. Can't see. Oh, one moment. Got some food. Headphones, where are they? There we go. I'll take a break to eat some food. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I know. I can make this top panel work if I make the background really bright and clear. I don't know how I'm going to do that with the background though. The sun is going in the complete opposite direction. But this does represent the first point in the comic in which he gets ahead of the thief. It's a shame that the top pose is so stiff. I should maybe, I don't know, something to do with the fire perhaps. Maybe I can use that. Maybe I could make it so the fire's mostly gone. Food consumed. Let me just go and wash my hands quickly. Oh. I don't want to listen to this song because I don't like the end of it. Alright, I'm gonna actually go and I don't want to listen to this song either. Look at some anime refs. Maybe some manga refs as well. See if I can get an idea of how to go about this.
It's a very particular kind of scene. I'm not sure how to tackle it. See if I can get lucky and find something that kind of has it. Okay, we got one ref so far. I know what this is from. Can make it seem like the atmosphere is light by making it hazy, a glow. That's one possibility. Let's keep looking though. Okay, I haven't watched this anime, but this seems to be doing the same kind of thing. It kinds of, I look at this, and if I were to imagine this anime, I imagine that this is almost in slow motion. It's not a fast motion, even though they are moving through the air fast. It's a sort of time freeze, and it's got this glowy vibe, which I suspect is communicating that feeling. Let's keep looking though. The way I draw the fire could work to my disfavor. Or what's the opposite of favor? It could stand in my way and make it look like it's going and change the vibe, so it seems like it's going faster than it actually is. I will survive. Would adding sparkles work to our benefit here? I don't think it would. I don't think it would, because that's a different kind of vibe. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Ba, 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 mhm. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of these kinds of similar situations, and they're always kind of a glowy moment. There's like an inherent beautifulness to it that I think maybe it's sort of like we're accustomed to staring a long time at a beautiful vista or something, and so to put that in the middle of an action scene is sort of communicates that sort of feeling, so it feels slower. I'm getting quite deep through this. I'm not seeing it yet, so let's switch over. I think to manga, my manga reference folder, and see if I can see anything interesting there. This one's a bit harder to see because they're panels. Hmm. But I know they would be a plain background. In fact, I think I've already got a collage of this kind of stuff. Yeah, I think I do. Let me go to my resources folder and collages. And it'll be near the bottom. It's one of the early ones I made. Light atmosphere. Yeah, if you have a look at this, is this safe for work? Yeah, yeah. Make sure that they're all safe for work. But are they? There's this sort of. It's often a plain background with something, but the plainness is key. There's a slight sound effect here, sort of shoo, tiny sound effect, small sound effect. It's like singular. Mm. Mm. And there's no movement. There's no movement, or if there is, it's clean. It's clean. Hmm. Now most of these do have a plain background, so we can't have the plain background because we have color. Okay, what kind of before I delete these, what kind of blur is it? I think it's got a haze to it, and the color is washed out. Okay, how can we to turn this into such a thing? I think we've got to break up the fire. It's got to be a lot weaker because otherwise it's going to not look right. But it communicates also the direction, so that's trouble. And the light is coming from the front, so we can't have a silhouette. I actually wanted a silhouette originally. I wanted but whatever. That's and because there's no speed lines, we've got to have some kind of background, and there would be a whole detailed part here, and I don't think I can really add that. Tricky. Let's draw the fire for now and see how much of it we can delete without it looking bad. Really, it doesn't make sense for the fire to be totally gone just yet, so. Where's my pen? Here it is. Alright. Hmm. And then they have to be like that. And probably like that, I suppose. You have to be really covered. See that inherently it makes it so much faster than I want. Um, Maybe it's in the shapes. We can emphasize these sort of small parts that might help us. Wait, hang on. Would this would be going in front of it, wouldn't it? Um, yeah, it would. Which makes it look even faster, dang it. Hmm, I don't know. I just don't know. On the radio, oh, oh. Hey, waiting. La 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 la. La 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 la. One, two, two. Oh, we gotta do it in the other layer as well. How do I want to do this one? This one we can do it like that. That'll do. Jeanette. Inside and outside. Hey, Digby. It's going okay. It's going okay. I'll show you this. Let me just fill in this white blob here, and I'll show you what I've got. There we go. We've got this page here, where it's a continuation of the last page, and he's jumping over him. And what I'm hoping to do for this top panel here is I'm not sure what you call it, but it's a sort of vibe where it's like a freeze frame, where it's sort of it's not at all like these ones where it's going really fast and the background is blurred. I want it to be no speed lines of any kind, but a very sort of still frame. And there's challenges to this. For one, they're obviously moving very fast, but I've also got this fire here, which is also making it seem like they're moving very fast. I would suggest a darker. I've actually thinking going for that special with all the light, and I used to do that. I did have previous frames, but I've actually deliberately made the what's it called? I've made it deliberately brighter than in previous pages. I will show you. I will show you. Where is it? You know, in previous frames, I have made it dark. The whole screen does get darker. Where the lighting is very much controlled by the fire. And while that does look good, I don't want to do it in this frame, because I don't want to draw attention to the fire. The fire is not important in this scene. So by deliberately ignoring the effects of the lighting, I hope that it will achieve that. But in this particular frame, it's actually the shape, the existence of the shapes that the fire is making that is the trouble, where it communicates too much speed, and I want it to be like a freeze frame. So I'm gonna once I get to the coloring sort of it, I will have to encounter that. And I've got an idea of how to go about it. I think I want to make the background lighter than it should be, and I want to make there to be sort of a hazy look to it. I'm going to see if I can pull that off, because I think that will do it. Or at least that's, I hope it will do it. So, theory I'll be testing out. But I'm expecting difficulties to be that the colours won't look right, and that having haziness, a blur looking like glow, will just generally look bad. But we will find out. This would be a lot easier in manga, in black and white rather, because I could just make the background white, and that would do the exact same thing. But I can't do that in color. It doesn't work. Or at least I don't think it works. I'll have a look at the page once I've put these colors down and see if it looks okay with a white background. But I really don't hope so. Your commitment to quality has doomed you. It has a little bit, however, there is a saving grace. There is a saving grace. If I wanted to, I could probably far easier draw this whole thing in a totally sort of painterly realistic style, and it would take a long time, but I would know how to do it because I'm more used to that sort of thing, and I know the sort of the tricks of how to make a thing look a certain way. But in trying to do this cartoony style, it's much more difficult. It's much more difficult. There's a lot you can't get away with. So every page is some kind of learning opportunity. Right, is that all the whites? No, there's one more white here. Oh, this song has like a minute of anything that we go. We had that song before. There we go. I'll listen to that. Oh. I need to update my music playlist one of these days. Some of these songs are from many years ago. But I don't. The reason why I'm doing this cartoony style isn't because I want it to look better through the cartoon style, but because I want it to be easier to emulate. I've got a theory that that I can I lost my train of thought. I've got a theory that that if I make it well, it's not a fear. I've got a hope. I've got a hope that if I make it something that can be emulated, then it will encourage people to have a go at making their own comics. That would be my hope. The style has to be simple, so that people look at it and think I could do that too. You know, which it's not my primary goal, but You know, if that was Progo, I'd draw like Scott Pilgrim, because his style is so simple yet so appealing that it almost certainly encourages people to copy it, and people have copied it. And well, some people would bemoan that. I think it's not drawing Requiem the Chevalier Vampire. Based on the name of that, I'm guessing it's something with a very what do you call it? A very painterly style, I'm guessing. Extremely detailed and gothic. I think I probably know the one you're talking about. Is that the one where the cover has like the guy with the sword? And it's like super spiky armor? Or am I thinking of something different? I've mentioned it to you before. I think we're talking about the same thing. But yeah, the trouble with that is that let's say you make that, and let's say it is actually really popular. It's too good. It's too good that you can't copy it. You look at that and it's unattainable. It's like Alex Ross or Vagabond or whoever the guy who makes Vagabond is. I forget his name. Takahiro Inoue, I think. But he the art styles you can't emulate them. And I think we need art styles that can be emulated. I think that's important. Because for you know, if you want to have artists be role models, which is what you need to get people into comics, they need to be believable. You know, there's sort of like the saying goes, Superman's not a role model. You can't become Superman. You gotta be like Kamen Rider. The trouble I've got, what's gonna do me is that I don't put enough hours into this. You know, I do all other kinds of things, and maybe I should stop doing all other things and just do this. I'm getting near the end of this, and for the past few pages, I don't feel like the art has been. The lines and stuff have been changing dramatically. And it worries me because it's not where I want it. And I'm getting near the end of this cheat thief chase scene. And so I think what I'm gonna have to do is before I make the actual thing, I'm gonna have to do studies or something of and try and nail down specifically how I want every part of it to look. You know, the lines and the colours and the backgrounds and everything, so that it's at the standard I want. Because it's not good enough at the moment. I have to be thoroughly out of the realm of tacky 2000s webcomic. Comics are an interesting field as there's a method to doing it quickly but well, but it takes a long time to get there. It's about having a formula, I think. Or how about a better way of worse than it is, I think you have to have the answers. You have to have the answers to every artistic question. You know, when you make a line, you need to know how thick that line should be. You know, when you pick a colour, you need to know which colour you should pick. And to the point where, without thinking and drawing quickly, you always draw correctly. You don't make bad decisions because you're going too quickly. I think it can be done. I think it can be done. After all, we're only drawing cartoons here. We're not making the Mona Lisa. You know, I think you know I rant about comics a lot, and I've made this particular rant to you before. How it's about choices. It's about choices. It's about you know, the difference. You know, drawing a comic takes a certain amount of effort, but the difference between it looking one way and it looking another way is often down to choices. You pick one color instead of another color. The time it took to pick the color was about the same, but in one case you pick a color that makes the comic look amateurish, and in another you pick a color that makes the comic look really good. And the same for everything else, so the line thickness and all that sort of stuff. I just have to figure out what those choices are and put them into a way where it's easy to follow. And the inspiration for that kind of thought is of course anime. How does anime stay on model no matter what the artist is? Whether they're making something by like Nichijou, that kind of style, or whether they're making Berserk, an anime studio can follow a model and make art that either looks good or bad. How do they do it? They have a model sheet. They have a style guide. And that's what I want. I want a style guide. In the professional setting, they often use specialists. What do the specialists do? Often they serve in a consulting capacity. They tell others how to do things. You have the main artist. He's the specialist, and he'll do the storyboards or something, and he'll direct the in-betweeners in an animation. One guy does line, oh no, that's not what I mean. I guess they are specialists. You're right, but I was thinking more like, I guess, super specialists, like someone who would come in and tell those people how to do their job. I guess like an art director, that would be a specialist. Ding dong. That would be more general management role, or management of the artist. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's sort of telling them, making sure that they make good products. Because even with their skills, it's about decisions. You can make good decisions or bad decisions. Oh, hang on, there's more down here. There we go. My choice to make this in color, this whole thing in color, has really proved to be more of a troublemaker than I expected. The feet. I'm getting better at drawing these feet. They're tough. They're tough. But I expected that the only difference between drawing in color versus black and white would be a time thing. And while of course it does have time, that's really not what I'm concerned about. It's not the time that's the trouble. It's that it totally changes the sort of demands for what you draw, the sort of the kind of level of realism that you can get away with. You know, you can't have these plain backgrounds. You can't have thin speed lines, and there's so many things you can't do. So I'm having to, invent a lot of things, and I'm not even sure I could say it's reinventing the wheel, because if there was a wheel that I could reference to, I'd copy the wheel, but I've had a look and there's really none. The color pages that you occasionally get in manga look dreadful. Color, Western comics look dreadful. Anime doesn't translate perfectly to what's it called? To comic panels. So I feel like I'm defining new ground. I'm forced to make my own style here that works. I don't know. You can just do a Kubo and slap a piece of text. No, I can't. I can't. I really can't. And I'll see if I can convince you that I can't. No, no. Well, I think I've already made the argument. I think I've already ranted in your DMs once before about why it doesn't work. But this background that I'm doing right here, this top panel, this could be a plain background, 100%. But because it has color, it can't. I'm almost done with the color now. I haven't got all the major colors yet. Let me just remove the colors. But here it is, and this could be a white background in a manga. It'd be totally fine. And here I've taken the colors off, and it almost kind of works. Imagine some stuff, But once I add color to it, it's going to look unfinished. It's going to look like you've just forgotten to put the background in. It's a very I think what it is that when it's black and white, it's a bit like a sketch, and your brain is more readily accepting of it not being realistic, and so it fills in details, and it just sort of imagines the background or something. The vibe works, but when you add color, it demands it's more representational or something. It's less sketchy. And if you don't have the questions of what the colors and stuff have already been answered because it's in color. And so if you have a white background, it's not a no background, it's a white background. You can get away with white backgrounds even in nighttime scenes in manga. It's crazy. In black and white manga, it's crazy. You can have a character with a white background, and we fully believe that they're out at 3 a.m. It just works, but it doesn't work in color. Because when it's white, that's not a no background, that is a white background. And if it's at 3 a.m., why is there a white background? Or something like that. It's psychological, I think. And even some pro manga artists, they fall for this, and they'll do a color page, and they'll give it a white background, and it looks terrible. But it could also be a skill issue. It honestly could. Maybe maybe I've just failed to figure out how to get away with a white background. There's a few things that I should be able to get away with that a lot of us can get away with that for some reason I've failed to be able to get away with. One of these is drawing the line underneath the eye, like the bags of the eyes, but they're not really the bags. They're just the bottom line of the eye, and I almost never draw it because it never looks good when I draw it. And I think that's a skill issue. Whenever I draw the bottom line of the eye, it always looks like they've got like eye bags. One thing I would kind of like to, that I'm on the fence about this is adding texture to these pages, like just a texture slapped on to make it look like it's being printed on paper or something, so it has a slight grain to it. And there's two reasons why I haven't already done that. One is it really increases the file size, but the second reason is that it's like I'm lowering the quality of it. It's not true native quality. I'm deliberately making it crunchy in hopes that it'll look better, but it's kind of a bad thing to do, I think. I see a lot of people when they do that sort of like fake retro anime style, they often do that sort of thing. All right, yellow, yellow, yellow. And it just never looks good. Because it's fake. It's fake. It's not real. But the smooth digital look doesn't look good either. So I really don't know. It could be a matter of my just my brushes. Maybe if I had a brush that could emulate it, that would feel more natural. Because then it's not like a texture I've applied on. It's just sort of it's an artistic technique that might work. But I'm not sure. I think it's the kind of thing when I do these stylistic studies, I'm gonna have to decide about it. This kind of song will be interesting to historians when diamonds are made in labs en masse and they're worth nothing. People will look at how strange it was that we once considered diamonds to be a valuable jewelry. And there are entire movies about people, spending ungodly amounts of time and effort and money to rob museums for massive, massive diamonds. Those are black anyway, so I can leave that. Oh. Diamonds are already low value. Yeah, they're already low value. It's just sort of like it's got a what do you call it? It's not entropy, is it? I don't know. It's like there's a lag. There's a lag between the diamonds already being used for like industrial purposes and the kinds of diamonds people are buying in jewelry stores, and they're paying high prices because they just it hasn't caught up yet, but it's getting there. The price of anything is what people are willing to pay for it, and their ignorance contributes to what they're willing to pay for it. If you can convince people that a load of rubbish is worth a lot of money, and loads of people pay that because they think it's worth a lot of money, then they'll pay it, and that's the simple of it. One more color, one more color. The handle of the sword, which I think is basically black. Oh, I've got to do the inside of the mouth as well. I think I've already got one of them somewhere. That'll do. Any more colors? Any more colors? I think that's all the flat colors. I guess I better color in the thing, the zip line. That's also on this layer. If I drawn it on the other, I don't think I've drawn it on the other layer. It might not be visible on the other panel. I mean, I better go check. To be real human being, real hero, human being, real human, real human being. Yeah, I better draw it. It's part of the background. I'll leave it. I'll leave it. It's not important. Right, if I disable the frame for the moment, you'll see it clearly. It doesn't look, honestly, I'll be honest, it doesn't actually look that bad. And I do need to clean this up a little. Like that. There we go. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it would, but I am still gonna do what I can with it. Okay, those are the flat colors. Let's start adding in the shadow shapes. I think we'll do it just sort of regular to start with, and we'll see how it needs to be modified. So I can do this. Real hero, real human being, and a real hero, human being. A human being. A human being. A human being. Mm. I'm not sure what color that will be. There shouldn't be any light anywhere in this. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. Right, that's one. Next color. Deeper we go. Oh, hang on. That's not right. Grab the wrong. There we go. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, ba, we go. Dramatic lighting might also work against me here. I'll have to see how it looks. This hair. Oh, that looks bad. No, it looks fine. Right, those are the major colours. Before I can continue, I need to add in the background colours. What to do about the background? Okay, let's try filling in this with blue. Get more vibrant than that. Well, I suppose we'll just fill in the whole thing with that colour. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Right, let's excuse me. Let's just sort of fiddle around with stuff. What if I do this? Lighter than that. What if we did actually make it like basically white but not actually white? It'd have to have a lot of texture, I think, otherwise it'd look bad. This isn't working. Contrast isn't strong enough. And then what if I add like a little blurriness on top of it? What does it look like? Why is it giving me blue? Blur the hell out of that. That's terrible. Not doing what I want. Furthermore, it's not even the right time of day. No, it's not. It's not it. It's not it. I got a DM. For some reason, which one was? Oh. Don't know how to communicate this. I'm gonna go look for those blurry images again. See what they're doing. The light looks light because there's a dark part here. Maybe that's what's going on. I have no opportunity for a dark part here other than the characters. and they've got to be part. They've got to be included in the blurriness. There's too many obstacles in my way. Huh? Apparently, I'm being told I'm on follower only mode. I have no recollection of doing that. Where's settings? Where are? No. Crap. Chat. Settings. In fact, I've had very quiet streams for a while now, actually. I wonder if the reason is because I've somehow accidentally enabled chat only, follow only mode. How do I change it? Followers only? No, it's for clips. It's got to be in Stream Manager. Odd indeed. Edit stream info? No. Oh, you know, you used to be able to find settings easily, you know that? Settings used to be easy. Let me go to my, just straight up to my channel, that might help. Settings. Here we go. Followers only chat? No, that's not. That's 0 minutes. I assume that's just straight. It's off. Yeah. Off. Is that it? When did I enable that? I did not enable that. Oh my goodness! How long's that been on for? Is this why? Is this why I've had such empty streams for a while? Let me see. I can't believe this. What? Since when? How long's that been on there for? I'm so mad. You know, I hate it when I go to a stream. I hate it when I go to a stream and it's followers only. It's like I'm not following you just so I can talk to you. You know, I talk to you, and if I like you, then I'll follow you. But if I can't even talk to you, why would I follow you? What? Also, hello, Tried Out. Still, apparently it's still not working for Sharko. No, I want to find this out. Now, you may have had a similar... Now, what is it giving you an error, Sharko? I'm talking to Sharko in DMs. Sorry, I'm leaking DMs, but tell me if it's giving you an error, or is it just you're typing a message and it looks like it's going through, but I can't see it? Is that what's happening? Because that happened to Bonnie a while ago. And how did she fix it? You'll have to ask Bonnie how she fixed it. Do you know Benny Bonnie? She had the exact same problem. I can't remember how she fixed it though. But I assume you're not visible. Yeah. See, I can't see that message. This is probably a Twitch problem. I don't think it's a Shadowban problem. I think if you know Benny Bonnie, go ask Benny Bonnie. She had the exact same problem. She may know the solution. For chatters who are wondering what I'm talking about, there's no Sharko in the chat here, but her messages are not coming through. Even though she's sending messages and they appear on her own screen, they're not coming through. No one can see them. Okay, I think the solution here is I need more references. I need to find more references, so I'm going to go hunt for more references and see if I can find an answer. So how to tackle this? Guard hand. But no Sharko. I assume she's probably gone by now. But you know, if your message ever does come through, I will let you know. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Now the trouble is, this is like a really niche sort of moment. This is quite a rare moment. And furthermore, in anime, it is actually animated. Oh, hang on, I've just got my cable cord on the thing. Oh, there we go, I got it off. I loosened it up. It's an animated moment, which means there are several parts to it, and it only works in animation, maybe. So so not only do I have to find it, but I have to figure out how to convert it into a still image. So the way they do it in manga is they have it's a lot of white space. They have a white background with slight indications of movement. I have strong indications of movement and a light background at the moment, and it's not right at all. I think breaking up the fire into more particles, I have kind of added more particles, helps. I think that helps. I'll show you what I mean. And this is not really the kind of vibe I mean, but in this here, there's a lot of particles, and that helps it look somewhat slow motion. But that's still kind of a fast thing. That's a different kind of panel. I have a lot of anime refs, but not exactly what I'm looking for. I can't believe I was in follower only mode. That's so annoying. That's so annoying. Yeah, because I hate it when I go to a stream and it's follower only mode. It feels so. It's like I feel like they're horrible people when they have it. No, I've just done it myself. Maybe they don't even know. Why was it like that? Look at this graph. No, this is a different song. This is not the graph. This is not the photograph song. I've almost gone through the entirety of my anime refs folder. I'm not seeing the answer. Here's a completely different way of tackling it. Perhaps this is just make it like a shock panel, like a decorative sort of background. Maybe that would do it. The song's so familiar, but I just can't place it. It's the. I assume you're joking, but but in case you actually can't place it, it's the second ending of Inuyasha. Inuyasha. It is Fukai Mori. But it's a very very popular song. Hence my assumption of sarcasm. That explains it. I watched Inuyasha off and on, but that was years and years ago. It's a fun anime. It's a fun anime. I think. Now, I would normally say, oh, everyone loves Inuyasha, but I've actually encountered several people who don't like Inuyasha, so it does appear that actually it's a love it or hate it thing. I think the reason people don't like Inuyasha, if they don't like Inuyasha, I think most people like Inuyasha, but for those who don't like Inuyasha, I think the reason is because it's very it's not very plot heavy. It's very much a rom-com, it's almost slice of life with combat. You know, if you like them just sort of goofing around, not really getting much done, if you like that kind of thing, you'll like Inuyasha. It's for the girls. I like Inuyasha. I think if you like the characters, if you're the kind of person who you'd watch a series and you're like, oh, I wish I could just watch an episode of these characters not fighting the bad guys, but instead just having fun, then you'd like it. But if you like the plot to actually get anywhere, you won't like it. You have to like the characters. Very character driven, and the characters are actually the real reason for the whole existence of the show, and not the plot. The plot is an excuse for the characters. Right, I'm near the end of this folder that I'm browsing through, and I haven't found it. Oh, I don't even know what I'm looking for. So I'm just looking for something to give me an idea of how I might be able to tackle this vibe, this feeling. And if it doesn't work, if I really can't get it, I suppose I could convert it into a different vibe without having to change the pose or anything. But I don't want to. I want to, because this is part of the learning experience. You want to be able to have all these tools at your disposal, that you can communicate this feeling, that feeling, that feeling. Do you have control over? It's like being a movie director. How do you direct a scene to have the right the kind of feeling you want? Perhaps somewhat humorously, there was this one also in my reference folder, and this is basically the same thing, but this is less of a this wouldn't look good if it was in a panel. It looks good as a standalone image, I think, but it is somewhat interesting. It's kind of the same thing. They're sort of they're frozen in midair in a motion that is actually extremely fast, but it's frozen in midair. And I think there are some things we can learn from here that I think are helping this communication. It's frozen, but there's lots of little particles dotted around. And I think this actually does a lot. I think this does sort of communicate a lot. And I hope we can communicate that same thing with the little bits coming off the fire. That's my hope. But I want it to have the sort of same feeling as almost something like this. But I can't copy this exactly because this is a completely different lighting scenario. In mine, the lighting is coming from the front, and it's sunset, so the light is neither as bright nor silhouetted in the figures. And it's entirely possible that it may not actually be possible that it may be that it is from like a cinematic point of view, like a cinematography point of view, it may be necessary that the characters are silhouetted. When I originally envisioned this panel here, I did indeed make it like that. I did indeed have it, but I've changed it to be easier to draw. So I may have unwittingly sabotaged myself. It's entirely possible. Alright, I've just about reached the end of my anime folder. I have not found it. Okay. I've got one idea I want to try, but I'm gonna have to copy a lot of things. I have to copy that, 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 and that. Put these in the right order. Like that. Like that. Move that. Okay, no, hold on. Whatever. It'll serve as an experiment. I want to get that. I want to fill in the characters with blue. There we go. Now I can turn that back on, and then we've got something to work with. Nah, this looks ridiculous. What am I even trying? No, it's just... It just looks washed out. That's all it looks like. It just looks washed out. Let's look again at sort of anime examples, manga examples rather. Sorry, we're done looking at anime. Let's look at all right. What kind of let's look at Akira. I'm going to look at Akira. Akira is very cinematic. It may have such a solution. It'll probably be a white background. It'll probably be a white background. This isn't really it. This is too fast, but this is kind of it, but not exactly, not exactly. Da 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 da.
Here's one. And again, see how look how bright the background is. The background is almost white. This communicates this like it's like an atmospheric thing. It's like an atmospheric, like the pressure, the air pressure or something. It's like the pressure drops in this moment, and it's like if there were music, it's like the music stops. Then it's like a freeze frame moment. It's a very particular kind of vibe. It's a very particular kind of vibe. But I don't know how to do it in color. And it's so cinematic that I don't see this done in Western comics. Western comics don't do cinematography. How does it? What makes this work? Why does having it so white do that? What's the connection between this penny drop moment and it being white? And notice how it's almost like the character here, he's whiter than he normally is, and this is turning to white. It's like there's a lot of light. There's a lot of light. It's really high, overblown. How does it work? And look, you see how half the background is just lost to light. There's so much light. And then, even though there are speed lines here, because this thing's moving really fast, he's also certainly moving very fast, but there's no speed lines on him, and generally there's no speed lines. You can see him very clearly. I also want to say faded colours might work, like you said, overblown. It's tricky. Let's look for overblown photographs. Overblown photograph, and hopefully we don't get swamped by AI. See if that has like the same. Oh, this. I'm just getting photographs. Overexposed. Oh, I'm just getting all before and after, and also AI. Ah, search engines. Okay, hold on. Cinematography, overexposed. Masterpieces of overexposed cinematography. Oh my god, I hate AI. I hate AI so much. So goddamn useless. It's just slop. It's just complete slop. 5 years ago, I would have been able to find anything on Google. Ah. Okay. Artistic effects. Cinema freeze frame moment. No, the freeze frames in half these cinemas are just comedic freeze frames. That's not at all what I mean. Dramatic. Multi-billion tech company, please understand.
Oh my god. I went to this website and look what I just look what I look you won't believe what I've just been bombarded with. Look at this crap. God. It's just the whole website. The whole website is just God. Get me out of here. I can't even see the actual blog. It's all AI. It's just there is no website. There's no blog. The URL is called why filmmakers use free freeze frames, and there's nothing. It's just AI. It's just AI. Oh my god. But either way, this is not. It's not what I'm looking for. It's not the kind of freeze frame. What about anime? No, it's not. It's not a freeze frame. It's a slow motion. Or okay, there are freeze frames in animes, but they're more like they're more like Joe dying. Like it's not really the kind of it's not the right kind of vibe. Can we learn anything from it though? You walked into that one. Who would call a website that? Oh no, it had a normal website, but then it was like a website so and so. But Sharko, Sharko. Dan Clancy and Shadowbow can't stop me from butt posting. Oh my god. Yeah, I can see your message now. Oh my god. You know what? This is destiny. This is destiny. This is your new account. This is your new account, Sharko. Okay, here. This looks dreadful. I don't even know what this is from, but this free. I'm sure this probably looks good in animation, but this freeze frame looks. Is this One Piece? I don't even know. Is this One Piece? This looks dreadful. But even though you're only looking at a static frame here, you know just by looking at this that it's a slow motion moment. That it's almost like a freeze frame moment. You just know it. What's going on? What's going on? Why does it work? Okay, again we've got particles. There's particles. There's lots of particles. For some reason, this makes this kind of work. The background is dark in this. This is what you said earlier, and I kind of disregarded it because I thought because I was looking at all my references had the opposite. They went bright, but this goes dark, and it does indeed convey the feeling of like a slow motion camera because they're always really dark. Maybe I have to go dark. Maybe that's one possibility. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I just need to make it almost black. Is there anything else that's making this work? And of course, there's no speed lines. You can see the characters in full clarity because again, it's slow motion. Okay, we've made one. We've digged into it one little bit. Let's see if I can find any more moments like that. Um. But Sharko, do go figure out do go ask Bonnie what she did to fix hers. I think she might have like logged in and out or something, or logged into a different browser or something, or I don't know, maybe it was some ad blocker or something that's shadow banned you or something. I don't know, something. But okay, let's try making it dark. Let's try that. It's the complete opposite of this though.
Ay, 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 ay. Okay. What if I make it really dark? So we go really dark. That was selection clear. Hold on. We can see we had kind of the same page before. We're gonna go into reds and then a deep blue. Okay. Brady Thief needs correction. That is one way of wording it, I suppose. This is we're on page 26 now, and this is the first page in which our red hair main character has actually gone further. He is ahead of the thief. He has caught up, and actually he's gone a little too fast, and he's jumped straight past him. But this is the first time that he's made such progress. We can make this bolder, perhaps. And then, like that. What does that feel like? It. What else do we need to do? We need to overblow the characters somehow. I don't even know how to do this. I'm just gonna try and cheat it. Maybe it's because I haven't done it precise enough that they're just this. Do I need more? Do I need more stuff? Do I need Whoops! Give me. Crap! Give me that. Maybe I need that. Maybe do I need more particles? Do I need to cut away into it somewhat? Do I need to make the shadows black? Now it just looks like they're lit by a candle. Now it just looks like it's a nighttime scene. What am I missing? Let's make this less colourful. It just looks like they're lit by a candle now. It totally draws the attention to the fire. It's not what I want. What if we big boobs is what's missing? Perhaps what if we cut out the fire entirely? Yeah, assuming there's no fire at all. It still looks like they're lit by a candle. What on earth? Cut her in that. Now we're just sort of butchering the image. Problem is you put the fire center stage. Yeah, I kind of did. Okay. what if we do a completely different vibe? What if we copy the previous page? Oh, this might actually be it. This might be it, actually. What if I just do this, but I make it less dynamic? And, I'll be honest, this is the closest we've actually gotten so far. It's the closest we've gotten so far to the vibe. Can we now? Can we make the characters darker? No, just this character. That's we're really getting close now. We're getting close. I think that's almost it. That's almost it. It still feels really fast. I've got to let's keep trying. How can I make this seem less dynamic? Maybe swap the light and dark elements. What do you mean the light and dark elements? I'm not sure what you mean. You have to explain what you mean to me. Like you did the same effects earlier in this sequence. Spell it out to me. I have no idea what you mean. Light and dark elements of what? Of what? The background, the characters? The background. So you want it so it's darker at the bottom and lighter at the top. You want it to invert it. Is that what you mean? Mind work. Okay, let me there's no invert button in this, so I'm actually just gonna paint it manually, but so I'm just gonna paint it manually. Is this what you meant? Oops. I'll be honest, it kind of looks a little Doctor Who. I feel like they're coming out of the vortex. You know, I don't think this is it. I should actually, jokes aside, I should actually remember this strange arrangement here because it looks very explosive. Let me get rid of that blur. That blur is distracting. I don't need that. It looks interesting. It looks what could this be used for? What kind of vibe does this communicate? It communicates that they've it has an interesting vibe. It's very chaotic. It's very explosive. I should try to remember this. Leaving a dark. Well, that's the literal thing. Can we what can we modify it? Can we do we any modifications? Whoops. I mean, coming out of it, well, I would figure it out on my own. Explosive. It kind of does look explosive. Hmm. But let's see how. Just can I push the white here to its to a point where it's almost not present? Because having a white background is it, but it can't look like an unfinished background. It has to look like something. I don't know. how far can I push this, and also minimize the presence of speed lines. No, I've lost something. It's gone worse. Yeah, we got Eurobeat. What is this? I don't remember having this on my playlist. I honestly have no recollection of putting this on my playlist. I like it though. Probably why I put it on my playlist. Okay, I don't think if I just the contrast is too low that if I start blurring things it becomes a just like a haze. It's not right. What can I do? What if I block in these shapes and then just have it blue here? No, no. Then now it looks explosive again. What if I really just sort of do that? Adding like a almost like a sonic boom here does the opposite effect again. It makes it explosive. It's almost like it doubles the explosive power of it. This I like that, but it's not for this scene. Not for this scene. I don't want that. I want it to look like a freeze frame. Ay, ay, ay. Ever so difficult. What if we adjust the colors? What if we adjust the colors? Like if we make down here this sort of color, and then up here that color. And then how do we set it to the right color mode? Uh, Dang it. The white is on the layer. No. We'd have to do it manually. No, it makes it more dynamic. What if it's darker on top and lighter on the bottom?
That helps, I think. I think that's the right direction.
Can we then make it darker on the top? No, that increases the dynamism. Can we totally get rid of the bottom? Can we have it like that? Oh, look, I think it's getting there. That kind of works. Yeah. Look, this kind of works. All right, how can we adjust this to? Okay. It's almost there. It feels almost like a freeze frame, but this has been so difficult that I've totally lobotomized myself. So I'm gonna give up for now. Make the other character surprise looking more stunned. Well, I thought I did have like a stunned shock. Is that not a stunned shock, or maybe I need to rework the drawing in that case? It's supposed to be more of a stunned shock. I don't know. But how long have we been going for? We've been going for 2.5, almost 3 hours, and on one drawing. But this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. It's this exploration. It's this exploration, and I think we've experimented with so much of it. It makes the other character's surprise look more. I mean, change the change you did. Oh! I see. You mean it? Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's the intention. It's like a. Don't you feel the freeze frame moment? Don't you feel it? It's like, it's suddenly like in this one here, like he's moving. He's stopped and staring, but it's not a freeze frame moment. He's still moving really fast. Here, this is really fast. He's got like an explosive jump, and it's really moving and stuff. And then my intention here, if I can achieve it, is that it's like boom, the motion has stopped. And it's like this is like the moment. This is the moment where he leaps over him. And then here, this will be just like I'll render this completely regularly. Like this, there's no particular tension here. This is just like they're falling into it. It's like take you to the next frame. But this is like the shocking moment. And I've gotten closer. And I have done it with a white background, which is really hard to do. I don't know if the lighting is right though, because here the lighting is totally obscured, but actually the lighting is like it's like 7 p.m. or something. It's like not yet a sunset, but almost a sunset. Focus the motion lines, the white and blue effects. The other character is more in the center of it. Ah, yes. You may be right there. By putting him in the center of it, I think it's a little bit above. Maybe I need to adjust it a little bit down. In fact, can I do that? I don't think I can, but I'll try. Let me. Oh, that might actually be it. Yeah. Look at that. I think that might be. Or what does it look like before? Oh, I don't know actually. If it's when it's totally centered on him, it's much more of a shock. But I think there's definitely a shock vibe to it. But it's almost more like a. It's like the. Do I have the Akira one still? No. You know, I want this feeling, whatever this is, where it's like the lines, they're not pointing towards him. There's a shock factor to it, but it's not that kind of shock factor. Let me show you what I mean by a shock factor. Collages. This is what I mean by like a shock factor, where it's like the lines are on them, you know, like whatever this is, you know, like that. That's like it's really directed to it, and that adds energy. That adds energy. Whereas this, it's, I don't know. It's so hard to. I don't know what makes it work really. So difficult, so difficult. Using this as a reference, it almost seems like actually have the background almost totally white, and then have this sort of effect on the figure itself. But I don't know. I haven't really got the workflow for that kind of thing. That's difficult. I'm going with almost like cell shaded here. I wouldn't know how to do that. I believe I'm following. I've been thinking over it as well. See, this is the thing. It's almost like uncharted territory. You know, you've got these like shock moments in animation, and you've got these shock moments in this manga, but the manga have, and this is a solution. This is a solution to a problem. It's a cinematic moment. How do you communicate it? How do you communicate a feeling in just a single drawing? One moment. I'm gonna pause the music actually, because I'm finishing now. How do you communicate the feeling of like a cinematic moment? Like there's emotional direction here. How do you do that? Just black and white. And these manga artists, some of them are geniuses, and they figured out these tricks. And they think, oh yeah, what if you draw the background like this, and you draw it like this, and it conveys this feeling. They're not just making the drawing, they're directing, they're controlling your emotions and controlling the vibe. However, most of these solutions are catered towards black and white, and when you convert it to colour, it doesn't quite work out. Half the problem is communicating what you're trying to communicate. True. So finding reference and looking up the tricks was, yeah, that's it. It's like, how do you even describe this? Like, what does this even have a name? You know, if you were to go to Katsuhiro Otomo and you showed him this panel that he had drawn and said, what do you call this? He might not even have a name for it. It might be just a feeling that he's got. He might not have even communicated it. And you know, I've got all kinds of these sort of like you know, like, but there's definitely like let me go do it again. Let me get one that's like really sort of notable. Like this is a trick. Here we go. This is a thing people do when they show a character that's like you're in their mind, you're in their world. They do this. Not only now you know there's some variation, but not only do they make the background black, but they make the character not totally realistic. There's like they're sort of, is it blown out? Are they blown out? You know, like his character, his hair's not totally black, and there's no shading on his yeah, it's like faded. It's strange. Like, what are they doing? You know, this one here has it totally black, but even still, like, we can't see their other eye. It's drawn in a particular way. I thought I had one here that had the Death Note draw open, which sounds like total nonsense, and I don't know where I've got it, actually. Whatever. There is a panel in Death Note where he's talking about the fake drawer that he's built to put the Death Note in, and when he's talking about the drawer, the background that shows the drawer with the underside of the hole and the underside of the drawer, the background's black. And then when he's talking about it, he's pointing your attention to it. And then it has basically the exact same drawing in the next panel, but the background is normal again. It's white again, and it's like we've returned to reality. It's you know, but I think you know, this was a tough. I didn't expect this to be so tough. I thought this was going to be easy, just whatever, regular background, it'll work. But this proved tough. But I think we found maybe we've learned a little bit. Your model is so cool. Thank you. I drew it myself. I drew and rigged it myself. Oh, but you have come, unfortunately, at the end. At the end, we are finished. We are toast. we are totally exhausted, and I'm gonna give up for today. He is over. He is over. I am a worried over. A worry over. Oh dear. Is this guy's finished? I think. No, he means no. He just stopped. Okay, apparently we're back. Apparently we're back. The hair on the side of your face, it does, but it's not perfect. You know, if I go, you know, at certain angles, it's like it's not perfect, but you know, but I want it to, when I'm looking this way, I want it to look this way, and when I'm looking this way, I want it to look that way. You know, so how do I? You know, it was I did my best. I did my best, but it does clip a little bit, and it goes to zero thickness, and so it's a bit flat as a pancake. But I did my best. If I ever make a new model, I'll try and figure out how to make these look more 3D. I'd also like to make this brooch down here also look more 3D. It doesn't really act quite as 3D. It's kind of still a bit flat. It needs like 20 parts to make it work. But anyway, we're done here. Just go 3D. Yeah, you know, I would. There's so many parts of this model that would be 3D. The laurel wreath crown here, it would be so much easier if it's 3D. This brooch there, 3D. My hair in general, 3D. Just it would be so much easier if it's 3D. But you know, to get 3D the way you want it, it's really difficult. You know, even people who spend thousands on 3D, it's still kind of stiff looking. It's tough to do. You know, yeah, it's, imagine the poly count makes me weep. Yeah, it'd have to be like a high poly model. I don't think a low poly model would suit me, even though I do like a lot of people with low poly models, and I think I would want like something that basically like this but 3D. that'd be tough. Lorp, but 3D eats resources. That's true. My computer's okay-ish. It would probably be able to handle it, I think, but I have no idea. Really. Oh, yeah. The struggles of learning how to make comic art. I have to figure out, like, I don't know, like 80%. I've got to figure out like how to make any given panel, like 80% of any given panels or something, like so that I don't fail. Because I can't fail. If I fail, it will be a disaster. I've got to be like, it's got to look professional. And this is just a practice run. But when I have a go at doing the comic for real, it's got to look good. It can't look amateurish. This ain't you know, there's no support for me. You know, if you make an indie comic, people will look at it. They'll look at the first page, and if they feel in any way that they're kind of looking at an amateurish work, they're done. Hey, Oots makes money. What is Oots? Oots. I've heard Oots before. Oots. Order of the Stick, huh? I've not heard that before. What is this, some sort of Freemason cult? Are these RAM sticks? Order of the stick figures plus character designs, basically. Oh, I see. It's a webcomic. I see. Okay, but that's clearly like it's so intentionally amateurish that it's no longer amateurish. You know, it's like what makes it amateurish is like you try to do something and you didn't hit the mark. It's like you don't know what you're doing. But if you deliberately draw a stick figure, and it looks like a stick figure, you've achieved exactly what you did. You haven't failed at all. It's completely intentional, so therefore it doesn't look amateurish. But I want my biggest fear is that there's a lot of webcomics. There's a lot of like old 2000s webcomics that were basically trying to do the same thing that I'm doing, but they were totally amateurish, and I think they failed. Well, okay, they probably failed because the stories were probably also really crap, but that's all part of it. That's part of it, both art and writing. They tried to sort of copy this sort of 90s, 2000s anime style because they really liked it. And they failed. They failed because I think they failed precisely because they were amateurish. That no one really looked at it and thought, "Wow, this is cool." They just thought, it's lame. It's lame because the art wasn't very good, the writing wasn't very good. I need to surpass that, otherwise I'm gonna fall in. I'm gonna get relegated to like, oh, this is just some like 2000s webcomic. This is gonna be rubbish. It's got to be like, it has to stand on its own as like a thing that's cool in the way that an anime stands on its own or a manga stands on its own. You don't relegate it to some corner. You don't put it in a box. You look at it on its own because it stands on its own. My thing has to stand on its own. I have to get good enough that it looks good. And at the moment, it's not there yet. I look at this and I see a 2000s webcomic. I think I'm doing a lot better, but it's not there. It's not there yet. There was another webcomic called Schlock Mercenary. There was also amateurish and draw. Early comics were rough, but it was also clearly more newspaper comics inspired. So I guess, but yeah, that's another thing. And in my opinion, and it's a bit of personal preference, but in my opinion, an additional inspiration that a lot of 2000s webcomics had was the newspaper comics, where they weren't doing what I'm doing. I'm doing like this cinematic paneling and stuff, where it's like you're seeing above them, you're seeing below them. Like there's speed lines. It's the panel shapes are changing. It's really dynamic with like a manga. And they didn't do that. They did like a newspaper comic where they're kind of just like standing there, chatting, and it's not dynamic at all because it's more like it's almost like a sitcom. That's what a newspaper comic, I guess, is like. And I think that was their downfall. I don't think it works well. I guess it works for a lot of people. A lot of them became like common political commentary webcomics and stuff, and I guess they're doing fine. But what do you want? What's better to have? What's better to have? Do you want to be Garfield, or do you want to be Naruto? You're going for more mangas, so I get why it's you're being particular with your quality. Yeah, it's like I want to be as good as I can get it, but I want to understand why it's good. I don't want to spend a billion hours on every panel, not just fiddling with it until I stumble upon something. I want to figure it out, and then I want to know how it works. So with this panel we're on here, we've experimented with it, and we stumbled upon it randomly, but we've analysed it. We've thought, why does it work? And I think it works because it's a white background almost, but it's not totally a white background. If it's a total white background, it'd look bad, but it's still good. It's something like that. It's something like that. And if I can understand that, then I can do it again, and it'll be easier the second time. And then the more and more of these panels I do, it just gets easier and easier and easier, and the quality stays high. That's what I want. Right now, I think my colours are consistently not realistic. Let me show you. Actually, let me go back to my thing and show you what I mean. Where would I find this? This will do. This will do. Look at this. Look at this. Now, there's nothing wrong with the one on the right. It's just modern style anime, but compare it to the one on the left. On the one on the left, everything feels real. The skin feels like skin, the hair feels like hair, the cloth feels like cloth, and the light feels like light. It's hard to describe. It almost doesn't even feel like a cartoon. It's a cartoon, obviously, but it feels so real. It feels so physical. Whereas the one on the right really feels like a cartoon. It's still better than mine, I think, but you see the difference? Do I have another sort of example? Or like look at like something like this. Like look at the lighting on it. Look how it's dramatic, but it's like it feels really solid. And this is like you just don't see this with modern anime. Like modern anime just doesn't do it. Yeah, this is like an old anime thing where the lighting is such that it just feels real. It just has like such a feeling to it. And now to be fair, these examples are really dramatic examples where they're just like they're really dynamic lighting, and I think I will have to try and force myself to do this kind of stuff to carry this kind of effect. But well, I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure. I'm not sure because like let me show you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. I can do this. No, I struggle to do this in my Discord rants because Discord compresses everything. But here we go. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Bit of a funny funny panel here, but this is from Evangelion, and this is a scan of one of the cell. And if we look at it from a distance, it looks it looks like a cell, and it looks good. It looks good. That's the key thing. It looks good. Did I spawn? Oh, I don't even know. I don't. 90% of these like animes, I don't even know. I don't even know what they are. I Google like anime cell, and I just get whatever, But look how HD this is. You can zoom in pretty far on this, and you can see it's clean. In fact, you can see where they've drawn the lines for the shading, and they're like, what do you call it? Like they're not even, the camera won't even pick them up. And so this is like, where's the texture? There's no intended texture here. This is as clean as it could be digitally. And the colours, well, look, we're looking at it on a digital screen here, so if they could make this traditionally, then they could make this digitally. You could make these exact same colours, these exact same shapes. This could be rendered digitally. Like, if I zoom in, why could this not be digital? Let me get another example. What's another good example? Also, hello, Ace P. Caswell. I'm looking for a particular one. I didn't realise I had quite so many of these saved. I don't think this one was as far down as I thought it was. Where is it? Yada yada. I think I've scrolled past it. Has anyone ever called you Ace PC as well? He does kind of look like Ace PC. Here we go. Here's another one. And again, look, it's clean. It's clean. You can zoom in as far as what. And the only thing that makes this look traditional is the slight wobble in the line. And the scan has a slight bit of texture to it. But really, is that really making all the big difference? Surely, you could recreate this exactly here digitally. And it would look fine. Surely. What's making this look good is not that it's traditional. It's the choices made. And this is what I was saying about choices as well. The choices of the light, the colour of the light and the colour of the shadow. And the shadow shapes and everything like that. That's what makes it look good. And that is, this could be digital. It looks good because it's good, not because it's traditional. Oh, there was one I was thinking of. Where would I find it? Where would I find it in my folder? Would it be in resources? Colors and design limitations of the Air Force, in particular. Well, hold on now. I've got a counter to this as well. Let me find it. This here is, I went through and I color picked the colors used in a whole bunch of screenshots of anime cells to see what color palette they had available to them for, or maybe they're really limited. And while there are gaps here, if you look at the range, you can see here they've got this whole range. What's the limitation? What colors can they not make? Can you identify any colors that they can't make? And I mean colors that they can't make, not colors that they chose not to use.
You know, the fact that there's now this here is because the reds are very common, you know, and there's lots of skin tones here and lots of whites, and you know these are just colors they use. You know, you're not going to see too many pinks because it's an uncommon color, but because they have this range, that suggests that they could have this same range also down here, and it's hard to find any real color here that they didn't have. It's a choice. Again, it's a choice. You know, look here. There's these colors here. These are really quite saturated. You know, they've got some strong saturation colors in red, yellow, blue. They've got white, and they've got black as well. What color don't they have that they couldn't make? Because I don't think there are any colors. I don't think there's any colors that they couldn't have made. I think they had pretty much all the colors that you have digitally, or you know, reasonably so, and that. The reason why they picked the reason why they picked these colors isn't because of some limitation, but because these are the best colors, and they could have picked any color. That's what I think. You know, I've spent so much time sort of like looking into this kind of stuff, like trying to analyze it, because there's this common idea that old anime looks good because it's traditional, because it's cell, because they had this limitation or something like this, and it's like no, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think you can take away every single one of those things. You can take away the grain. You can take away the washed out colours. You can take away all these things, and it still looks good. It still looks good. So what is it? And it's just all you're left with is the drawing itself, the decisions themselves that had no limitations. And it still looks good. I think the answer is simply that they were just better. They were just better. But anyhow, we've waffled on enough. What is that there? Is that my lines? Did I really make such ugly lines? My goodness, I'll have to clean those up. They look terrible. Anyway. I will leave you now. I will leave you now. Glob? Maybe glob, because we draw digitally. There's too many colours you just supposed to like the bright colours like him. Why not like him? Why not? But they had to physically mix those colours. They put okay. You've actually got a good point. There's hello Nab and Zazzle. Hello. But you have caught us near at the end here, but I'm going to continue ranting because someone said something. You know, I'm gonna continue ranting, and I think you were playing Resident Evil, right? I think I saw you playing Resident Evil. I think I saw you playing that. But the what did they say? What did they say? They said, oh yeah. So they were limited in that everything they did was really difficult. If you've seen how they make cell animation, it's really difficult. It's really difficult. They you know, if you make a mistake, you have to throw the whole thing away, and it's, you know, you're feeling physical pain. You've got to mix it. It's such a chore. And if you want to do some kind of complex effects, like, you can't just experiment with it. You have to plan it out. You have to do all kinds of wacky stuff, you know. And so this demands discipline. You have to have this discipline of your craft. You know, every brushstroke is a commitment. You know, and it costs time and money to do. So you have to really make sure you're doing the right decision. You can't make a lackluster thing and try and improve it. You have to do it right. How is this my first time hearing what the sun sounds like? Oh, thank you. It's the trouble with me being I'm a chatter as well as a streamer. I spend a lot of time in people's chats. Partially what I mean by limitations, they could only mix so many colours because each colour meant a new paint or paint mix. It meant more time, so it's more likely for mistakes, so you sort of form to limit yourself. Yeah. In fact, it wasn't me who came up with the word discipline. It was someone else who came up with the word discipline. I can't remember what. I think it was in a Disney documentary or something. They were talking about that. But you have to really... You have to make the right decision. You have to make the right decision.
Also, while you're here, before I do, I'll show you my comic. I'll show you my comic. This is the comic I've been drawing, and I'll skim through it quickly. It's a story of a pickpocket guy where he knocks him over, and then he steals his necklace, and then he goes after him, and he's got this sword that shoots out fire. But unfortunately for him, the necklace stops that fire. That's what it does, and that's why he had it, so he doesn't burn himself. But he's been pickpocketed right now, so he needs to get it back. And they go running through the city. But the pickpocketer, he is a sly guy. He's a slippery guy. And they go through lots of very. I think the tunic's been getting shorter. I think the tunic's been getting shorter. Actually, I'm not sure. Look, this guy's got horns. He's just like you, Zazzle. He's just like you. What do you mean? I'll have you know there are several upskirt shots, and in fact, I'll show you one. It's coming up in a moment. I'll show you the upskirt shot. You know, I like this guy. I want to draw this guy more. He's cool. That's almost an upskirt. Someone can see the upskirt, almost certainly. Here we go. Here's our upskirt. We have the lens flare sensor. There's nothing under there. There's nothing under my skirt either. A lens flare sensor. We got like a chariot race. It's so slapstick. It's totally slapstick. And then there would have been an upskirt one here as well. And I thought, can I get away with it because it's such a small drawing? But I decided not to. And I flipped him upside down instead, so he's just diving downwards. And this one here was we almost got an upskirt. But and then we get here to the present day, and this was the sketch for it, and over here we've got it drawn a bit better, but it's still a work in progress. It's not finished yet. It's still I've got to draw this background. But that is we spent almost 3 hours trying to figure out how to do this one background here. It generally looks good. HubSpot web time would cancel after one season. No, no, you can't say that. I'm actually I don't want it to look like a webcomic, and I was ranting about this. Like, I want it to look like a cool anime. It's got to look like a cool anime. Like let me find like an image. Let me find like an image of like how it's got to look cool. Here we go. Like look at this random like anime screenshot. Like, that looks cool. You wouldn't say that's a webcomic. You'd say that's cool. I want mine to be cool, but it's not quite there yet. I've got to learn how to draw it better. But I am exhausted now, and I'm gonna go cook myself something. But thanks for stopping by. Here's the Just Chatting screen. I've got some shelves there, but there's nothing on the shelves. I've got to draw some things to put on the shelves. Maybe one day. But good fun. I'm gonna end now, and I don't have an outro screen.